Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I probably have one of the greatest treats in a review for me personally, because this is from a small distiller that has now been acquired by a larger company. Personal friends with the founders, Shane Baker and Dr. Pat Heist, and I've just become fans of Wilderness Trail. And so they have an 8-year-old small batch wheated bourbon that will be released in Kentucky in late August. It's going to start out in the gift shop. It is going to be $88 in the gift shop. Now, I got a little bit more info on it. This is a wheated mash bill, like I said, 64% corn, 24% wheat, 64% corn, 24% wheat, and 12% malted barley. Now, something interesting to point out about this is that if you've been to Wilderness Trail, you've seen their column still. Well, this was actually from pre-column still. So this is from pot stills. So pot stills typically give more oil through. There's a lot more grain essence. And people who are traditional Kentucky bourbon drinkers tend to be a little off-put by pot stills because they don't necessarily like the grain essence. I, as you know, am a big fan of nuanced grain as long as it's complete and not like a flaw. That's some... You have to be tasting for a while to really appreciate grain and to understand the difference between a flaw in the grain and a complement of the grain. It's hard to explain, but just imagine it's the same thing as like if you left out a biscuit overnight. It's sure going to taste a whole lot better if it's fresh than the next day. Now, I'll still eat a biscuit that's been left out overnight. Just ask my wife. I like a good biscuit for some time. But you're not here to learn about how I have issues when it comes to biscuits. In fact, if I had one food to eat on, it'd probably be barbecue ribs and biscuits and gravy. So that's two foods, and both of them would lead to clogged arteries real quick. So I'm just going to shut up now and get to tasting. That's what you're here for. That's what I'm here for. I want to taste this whiskey here. So Wilderness Trail was acquired by Campari, and so Campari now owns Wild Turkey and Wilderness Trail. So they apparently like distilleries that abbreviate as WT. So let's get into this here. Ooh, man. Nutella is this incredible spread. If you look up the ingredients of it, like how much sugar's in it, it's unbelievable how much sugar's in Nutella. But let's ingredients aside in Nutella, it has a very distinct hazelnutty kind of smell. This is like opening a jar of Nutella. Ooh, that smells amazing. So a little bit more about this. This has 18 barrels in it. So that's a sizable batch. To give you a comparison, like Willet will have 17 to 24 barrels in it for one of their releases. And I got to tell you, 18 barrels, this bottle will circulate out there. Of course, this is not an actual release. This is a media sample, but and they'll look much different than that. You can see in my thumbnail what the bottle will look like. Well, heck, I can just show you what the bottle will look like. I got this fancy technology. I might as well use it here. I'm gonna grab that photo and show it to you. So this is what the bottle will look like. There we go. Well, there you go. So that's what the bottle will look like right there. Just like their standard product there. So this will be a bottled and bond. Nice. I'll be darned. Let me take that off. So it doesn't say bottled and bond on the. Oh yes, it does say bottled and bond. Look at that. It does say bottled and bond on the on the media sample. For those who are new to bourbon, bottled and bond, in a very basic, discussion, it's distilled in one distillery in one distilling season, at least 4 years old, and bottled at 100 proof. There's a whole lot more to it. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested about the history of bottled and bond and its importance. But most of you all are here for the tasting. I can't get over this Nutella smell, but after that, it's like walnuts, like just roasted walnuts coming right on out of the oven. Oh. Wow. Wow. This is absolutely beautiful. It is complex. It's like butter just on my tongue, just dripping down, curling up underneath there. Wow. And that Nutella note that you get on the nose, it's like a hazelnut syrup that you would get in a latte, so like a hazelnut latte. Wow. There's some nice like sweet sticky rice kind of a note here. That's not a note you would ordinarily hear me say. But like just, that sticky rice that you would get at a wonderful Korean restaurant or Vietnamese restaurant. And I love sticky rice. Sometimes you get some and it's like a little sweet. It has that kind of note. It has like this really, really nice fried dough note, like a beignet or a funnel cake, and like a powdered sugar. This kind of like, I don't mean to, have a joke about this, but this is like, if this were all food, I would be afraid of like what I'd be doing to my insulin levels. Like, this is so sweet. Wow. I will be shocked if this is not in the upper half of my top 100 when I go to do this blind tasting. Am I saying that this is going to make my top 100? Most likely, yes. So unless there are a lot of whiskeys that get dropped between now and December that are markedly better than this, which I doubt. Yeah, and I also believe that this is probably the best thing that Wilderness Trail has ever released. I'm just going to sip on it one more time because I can. Oh my God. That is so good. Well, I will be out of town when they do this gift shop release, but I might have a friend go stand in line for me. This is way too good for me not to have a bottle or 6 or 12. But that's going to do it here for this little old review. Thank you for tuning in. I really do mean it when I say I'm proud of Pat and Shane for this release. Also for all they've done for the bourbon community. Dr. Pat Heist and Shane Baker, they kind of changed the conversations in American whiskey, which is always like folklore and history, and they had that. Shane's family, worked at Stitzel Weller back in the day, but they made it about the science, and they kind of made the other distillers force their hand to talk about science and how whiskey is made, and that's what gets me going. That's what I get excited about. And I can taste things all day long, but I love hearing from the people who make the whiskey talk about how the yeast works, and that's where their specialty is. So kudos to Pat and Shane for putting out something that is simply sublime. It's absolutely beautiful. But thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you go check out Wilderness Trail whenever you get a chance. You're traveling through Kentucky. I'm also going to be, I've got events coming up all over the place. Look in the description to see where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in St. Louis in August 24th through 26th. Kansas City, 27th, 28th. And then I have a bunch of private events in New York, Baltimore, and I'm trying to get out as much as possible. And if you are a part of Club Marzipan, which is my whiskey club, thank you so much for being a member. If you'd like to learn more, click on that link in the description to learn more. But be safe out there, folks. And remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used to clean up the dead cat. Long story on that one, folks. Really long story, but I'm here to tell you. And here's the story about that.